Hello and welcome. Welcome to class 382, vocabulary. Are you ready? Let's begin. Breve, brief. Brief. Lo bueno breve dos veces bueno, no? Or lo breve bueno dos veces breve, no. All right, brief. Brevity is the soul of wit. Brief. We need to be brief. We need to be brief. Constantemente, constantly. You're constantly watching me on television. But that's good because you're improving your English. Constantly. It's constant. Constante, constant. Constantemente, constantly. Constantly. Economía, economy. The Spanish economy, the American economy, the British economy, the French economy. Always macroeconomic questions concern the general economy, the local economy, the regional economy, the national economy, the domestic economy, economía interior, exterior, the foreign economy, the domestic economy, economy. Impreso, formulario, a form. To fill out a form, remember? To fill out a form. To fill in the blanks, rellenar los espacios en blanco, con el fin de rellenar el formulario. You fill in the blanks in order to fill out the form. A form, una forma, a form. Es un formulario, un impreso que hay que rellenar. To fill in the blanks or to fill in the boxes, si son recuadros o casillas, you fill in the boxes. You fill out the form. Although the British also say to fill in the form. In British English, it's easier. You fill in the blanks in order to fill in the form, the same word. And no problem in American English, no problem. To fill in the form is also correct. But we usually say to fill out. To fill out the form, a form, un impreso, a form. Judías verdes, huh? Green beans. I like green beans in Spain. In the U.S., I don't like green beans very much. I don't like them very much. But in Spain, green beans are made with garlic, ham, olive oil, rehogados en aceite con un poco de jamón. And they're really good, right, Marta? Green beans. Las judías verdes. Yeah. Green beans. All right. Además de, in addition to. Bueno, además de. Yes. Además de. In addition to. Now, there's a. Yes. There are two ways to say además de in English. Besides. Beside is al lado de. The white pencil is beside, sin la S, is beside the microphone. Now, añades un S y ya cambia totalmente. Además de, besides. Además de Marta, estoy yo, in this studio. Besides Marta, I'm here too, You can see me, right? Okay. Well, besides Marta, I'm also here. All right, besides. Yes. There are two pencils in the table. Now, besides the two pencils, there's another one here. All right. It's interesting. Besides means además de, y casi lateral. In addition to means además de sumando a. Sumando a. It's very little difference. It really doesn't matter. But in addition to, contiene la palabra adición, que es añadir, sumar. So in addition to means además de y añadiendo. Y no simplemente además de y lateral. Yes. You know, besides these pencils, there's also a microphone in this room. You know, besides these pencils, there's also a microphone. In addition to these pencils, there's also a microphone. It's also correct. So don't worry. In addition to, besides, in addition to, método, method, the Vaughan method, el método Vaughan, the revolutionary Vaughan method. What's revolutionary about the Vaughan method? The teacher, the quality of the teacher. Very special teachers, incredible teachers. Method, methodology, methodical. Soy metódico, I'm methodical. I follow a method. I follow a method. This is a very, very good method. But this method is very bad in the hands of a bad teacher. So this method is very good, but it's only hardware. The necessary software to make this method excellent is the teacher, the human being, the person. All right, method. Con un cc en medio, method. Recientemente is recently, lately, últimamente noto menos paciente. Lately, I've noticed, presente perfecto en inglés, en español no. Últimamente me noto. En inglés, últimamente he notado, o me he notado. Lately, I've noticed that I'm less patient. Recently, I've noticed I'm less patient. The same. But recently, me hace muy poco tiempo. Recently I saw an interesting movie on television. Recently, several. Hay varios problemas. There are several problems. Hay varias maneras de resolver esto. There are several ways to solve this. Several. Trabajo en equipo. Teamwork. Yes, Marta and I work together, right? Good teamwork, right? Buen trabajo en equipo. Yes. Without Marta, it's impossible. Yes. Teamwork. Team es un equipo. Team. Todo junto, teamwork. Trabajo en equipo. Atacar is to attack. Un ataque frontal al inglés. A frontal attack. Yes, you need to attack the English language. Frontal attack, rear attack, and from the flanks, de los flancos. You need to attack. You need to surround English. Rodear el inglés, el idioma. You need to surround English and attack. To attack. Me estás atacando. You're attacking me. Why are you attacking me? Cambiar de tema, to change the subject. Cambiemos de tema. Let's change the subject. Why? Why do you want to change the subject? I'm tired of teaching English. I want to change the subject. Not on the television program. This program is devoted to the English language. So you can't change the subject. Se dice en inglés, en español, cambiar de tema. En inglés, cambiar el tema. To change the subject. Morir, to die. To pass away, to die. Pass away is fallecer. Pass away is a softer way of saying to die. But usually we use pass away for a natural death, not accidental. To die. When did Napoleon die? He died in 1821. Where did he die? He died on the island of St. Helena. How old were you, Richard, when Napoleon died? Me? Napoleon died before I was born. Oh. Well, how old were you when John Kennedy died? I was 12 when John Kennedy died. How old were you when your mother died? I was 50. My mother died in 2003. I was 51 when my mother died. Yeah. I was 51 when my mother died. To die. Borrar is to erase. Escrito érase. Érase una vez. Erase. To erase. To erase something on the blackboard or to erase something when you're writing. You write something. And you erase with an eraser. Marta, these pencils don't have erasers. Yeah. But I don't need erasers to erase. Because everything I do is perfect. No mistakes, right? I don't need an eraser to erase because I don't make mistakes. Yeah. Is that right, Marta? I don't make, she's saying, yeah, you don't make mistakes. So I don't need an eraser in order to erase my mistakes. All right, to erase. Erase, where are we? Apañarse, salir del paso is to get by. To get by. To get, el verbo to get. But to get by means, me apaño. I can get by. My French is enough. to get by in France. I can go to France and I can get by. My Italian isn't enough to get by, but with Spanish, English, and French, usually I can get by in Italy. Because speaking Spanish, slowly, Italian people can understand you, usually. And speaking French slowly in Italy, many times people can understand you. And in Portugal, even more. Speaking Spanish in Portugal, usually you can get by. To get by. Entrar in is to go into. Bueno, to go into or to come into. Entrar. Si ya estoy dentro y Marta entra, she to come into the room. To come into the room. Ahora, si estoy fuera y veo que entra aquí, Marta is to go into. So it's relative to your position. Ahora, si Marta entra a gatas, she crawls into the room. Si entra en esta habitación a nado, she swims into the room. Si entra corriendo, she runs into the room. Si entra andando, she walks into the room. Si entra dando marcha atrás, she backs into the room. So, si entra volando como Superman, she flies into the room. La constante que es into. Entonces cambiamos el verbo de locomoción. En español no, decís entrar y luego añadís el verbo de locomoción. Entró a nado, entró corriendo, entró caminando, entró arrastrándose a gatas. All right. So it's completely different. It's the opposite, really, in English. Nadó dentro de la habitación. Entró a nado. She came into the room. She swam into the room. To come into. Localizar is to locate. Yes, I need to locate good teachers. I need to find. Darse cuenta de, realize. Escrito realice, con Z. In American English, with an S in British English. To realize. No me di cuenta de que estabas prestando tanta atención. I didn't realize you were paying so much attention. I didn't realize that you were there. Yeah, I didn't realize that. To realize. Fijar, establecer is to set. Tienes que fijar objetivos. You have to set objectives. Tienes que fijar metas en la vida. You have to set goals in life. Vamos a fijar la reunión para el jueves. Let's set the meeting. Let's set the meeting for Thursday. And to set up es ya organizar toda la reunión, pero primero se fija el día. We set the meeting for Thursday, and Marta will set up the meeting, the organization, contacting people, everything. To set. Confiar en, to trust. ¿Te fías de mí? Do you trust me? Be careful. Fía, pero solo en Dios y en Santa María. Trust, but only in God and Saint Mary. All right. Yes. Desconfianza, aseguranza. Vuestro refranero. It's trust. To distrust is the opposite. Do you trust me? Yeah. ¿Te fías de mí? Y también confías en mí. Do you trust me? Do you have confidence in me? Do you have confidence in me? Do you trust me? To trust and to have confidence is a bit different. Although they overlap, se solapan, they overlap, in which they have the same meaning. To trust, sé que no me vas a engañar, no me vas a robar, it's I trust you. It is de fiar. I trust you. I have confidence in you, es confío en que vas a hacer un buen trabajo, tengo confianza en ti. Es como un apoyo moral. I have confidence in you. I have confidence in the future. But I trust. Pero en las monedas dice, en Dios confiamos. And American coins, in God we trust. To trust, I trust you. También confío en que vas a estar aquí mañana, I trust you're going to be here tomorrow. I trust. Urgent is urgent, the same. Urgent, Learning English is urgent, right? You need to improve your English urgently. Urgently. Es curioso, tenemos el verbo urgir, que existe en castellano, pero no se usa. Yo te urjo. You don't say, but in English, yes, I urge you. Means te insto, encarecidamente, para que estés mañana. I urge you to be here tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to do a very important point. I urge you to be here. Viene la misma raíz que urgent. It's very urgent. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Paula Eisenbach. All right. To turn is girar. Yes. The car, to turn left, to turn right again, to turn right again, to turn left, to turn. Turn around is complete. To turn around, to turn around. You remember this book. I'm turning the book around. I'm turning the book around. Now I'm turning the book over, like a Spanish omelet. I'm turning the book over. Turn around and turn. And now I've lost my place. Marta, I've lost my place. ¿Dónde estoy aquí? All right, so, but to turn has many different meanings in phrasal verbs, depending on the preposition. To turn on. To turn on is encender. Pero encender algo electrónico, eléctrico, electrónico, similar. To turn on. Turn on the engine. Start the engine. Cuando es un motor de combustión interna, we say to start. Arranca el motor. Start the engine. Ahora, si es un motor eléctrico, turn on the motor. Motor, not engine. Turn on the motor. Turn on the lights. Turn off, turn on. Turn off, turn off. Turn on the light. Si es una sola luz, turn on the light. Turn it on now. Enciende la luz. Enciéndela ahora. Turn on the light. Turn it on. Con it en medio, Ojo. Turn it on now. Cuando dices el sustantivo y no el pronombre, the light, lo puedes colocar donde quieras. Turn the light on. Turn on the light. Turn, bueno, pronombre en medio, Turn it on. No se dice turn on it. Turn it on now. Turn on the light. Turn it on now. Ahora son tres luces. Turn on the lights. Turn them on. Turn them on. Them on. Y enlazo con la M. Turn them on now. Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. Turn them on now. Turn off the lights. Turn them off. Don't turn them on. Turn them off. Y si una sola luz. Turn it on. No, turn it off. Don't turn it on. Turn it off. Don't turn it on. Practique esto en voz alta esta noche. Turn it off. Don't turn it on. Turn it off. Don't turn it on. Turn them off. Don't turn them on. Apágalos. O las son luces. Apágalas. No las enciendas. Turn them off. Don't turn them on. Turn them off. Turn them off. Turn them off. Don't turn them on. Una sola luz. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Don't turn it on. Sing it if you want like me. ¿A que te da vergüenza? Cantar inglés en inglés. Estando sola, o a solas en tu habitación. Yeah, I do it in front of thousands of people. In front of a television camera, Marta, I do it. I don't worry about it. I don't feel any shame. Turn it off, turn it on. Now, turn on también la radio. Turn on the radio. Turn it off. Turn on the radio. Yeah, I was driving in my car with my wife. I turned on the radio. She turned it off. I turned it on. She turned it off. We had a fight. I turned it off. I turned it on. Ahora estoy hablando del pasado, escucha. Encendí la radio. I turned on. Turned on. Escrito turned, pasado simple. I turned on the radio. Fonética, escucha. I turned on. La D al final de turn se junta con on. Son muy amigos. I turned on. I turned on the radio. But then my wife turned it off. 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 But then I turned it on. And she turned it off. But then I turned it on. And she turned it off. And I turned it back on. I turned it back on. Volví a encenderlo. Y ella lo volvió a apagar. I turned it back on and she turned it back off. And we had a fight. Turning on the radio and turning off the radio. Turn it on, turn it off. Turn them on, turn them off. Yes. To turn up. To turn up. To turn up. Turn up has two meanings. Hacer acto de presencia. Aquí estoy. Yeah. Yesterday I came here to do this show. Well, to do this class. And Marta didn't turn up. I was sitting here twiddling my thumbs. We say twiddling. Humming. And Marta didn't turn up. After 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I called her. She didn't answer. And I continued. She didn't turn up. And finally, I called about the fifth time I called. She said, Clearly she was asleep. Clearly I was waking her up. I said, Marta, where are you? And she said, ¿Cómo que dónde estoy? Well, I'm here waiting for you. Es que hoy es sábado. No, que sí. And I realized, me di cuenta, el libro de hoy, I realized that I confused Friday with Saturday. And I was here on Saturday morning, happily waiting for Marta, tan Pancho, tan feliz. And she was in bed, sleeping. Yeah. And she was right and I was wrong. She didn't turn up because it was Saturday morning. Turn up or to show up. She didn't show up. No se presentó. No hizo acto presencia. She didn't show up. That's one way. Now, to turn up también es subir el volumen. Turn it up. Turn it down. Turn them up. Turn them down. Turn it up. Turn up. Turn it up. I can't hear it. Yeah, if you can't hear me, turn up the volume. Volumen. Volume. 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 Yerba you. Volume, 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 volume. If you can't hear me, turn up the TV, turn up the radio, turn up the volume. And then you can hear me. Turn it up. Don't turn down the volume. Turn down is bajar el volumen. Turn up has two meanings. Turn up. Repito, presentarse, no se presentó. She didn't show up, she didn't turn up. Y luego subir el volumen, repito, to turn up the volume. Y luego turn down tiene dos significados también. Turn down is bajar dicho volumen, to turn it down. But turn down is también rechazar una oferta. O rechazar, to turn down. Me han ofrecido un trabajo y lo rechacé. They offered me a job and I turned it down. I turned it down. Why did you turn it down? I turned it down because I don't need a job. I have a good job here. But they offered me a job, and I turned it down. Okay, to turn up, to turn down the volume. It's too if the volume is too loud, or the music, if the music is too loud, you turn it down. Excuse me, waiter, perdone, camarero, waiter, excuse me. Can you turn down the music just a little? Sometimes in a restaurant, the music is too loud. And so you ask the waiter to turn it down just a little bit, to turn it down, not to turn it up. Now, if you hear a song you like, wow, I love that song. Hey, turn it up. Can you turn it up? Sure, turn it up. Turn out. How did everything turn out? Turn out. Yes. ¿Cómo salió todo? ¿Salió bien todo? Did everything turn out okay? ¿Qué tal el examen? How did it turn out? Todo salió de maravilla. Sobresaliente en ambos exámenes. Yes, I got an A. I got an A, una A, which is the best grade. I got an A on both exams. Everything turned out fine. You see, I told you. Ya te lo dije. I told you. You were very worried, and I said, don't worry, Marta. Everything will turn out fine. No te preocupes, todo saldrá bien. Don't worry. Everything will turn out fine. Everything will turn out fine. To turn out, everything will come out fine. Everything will work out. Everything will turn out fine with your English, because between today and tomorrow, you will study more. See you tomorrow.